Hello and welcome back to the course on algorithms. In the previous videos, we have seen two examples of problems which can be solved using dynamic programming technique. In this class, we will see one more example, namely longest common subsequence. Let's first define what is the longest common subsequence problem. The given a string, a subsequence of a string is defined as the string obtained by deleting 0 or more number of symbols from the given string. For example, we have an example here. If you take the base string as president, then preden, sdn, predent, all these are subsequences of the given string. So given a string, let's write it like this, and you can pick some of the uh, characters from the string, right? So and you write the string from left to right, whatever you have picked from left to right, right? So it's not necessary that the characters that you pick should be continuous. It need not be continuous. You can pick any number of them, right? So whatever subsequence that you get is called as the subsequence of the given string. So the longest common subsequence problem is to find the maximum length common subsequence given to sequences, right? So for example, let's look at the one example. In this example, two sequences are given. One is precedent, another one is providence. You can see that preden is a subsequence of both the sequences. It's a so we can mark. I'll start marking why this is a subsequence of the first sequence. We have P here, then R, then I, then D, E, N. So clearly this is a subsequence of the first sequence, and I can start with the second sequence P, R, I, D, E, N. Again, preden is a subsequence of the second string. So you can verify that this is the subsequence of both the things, and among all the subsequences of both the things, this is the one which has the maximum length, right? So so what we have seen here is we have picked P, we have picked R, and then we have picked I, which is here, and then we have picked D, E, and N. Okay, so given two strings of length, let's say N and M, then the longest common subsequence problem is to pick a subsequence which is a subsequence of both the strings, and among all subsequences we want to find in subsequence which is of maximum length. So using dynamic programming, in this class we will see an example which will compute the longest common subsequence in theta of n square time. At this point of time, it's also important to mention one more problem, related problem, which is called as the substring problem. When we refer to substring, it is a subsequence which is continuous, right? So the preden is not a substring of either of the strings, right? So but if I take I can start anywhere and I can end anywhere. I can start with a index I and I can end with an index I. If I look at all the characters from I to j, this is called as a substring problem, right? In the substring, the characters that we pick should be continuous. In the subsequence, this need not be continuous. That's the difference. Now, if I look at the brute force algorithm, right? So let's consider the brute force algorithm for both the subsequence problem as well as string problem. If I have to find all the subsequences of the given string, let's say that I am given a two sequences of length n, and our objective is to find the maximum longest common subsequence. So if I have to look at all the subsequences of the given string, then there will be 2 to the power n number of subsequences of a given string, right? So why is that? If you take any binary string of length n, so that will map to one of the subsequences of the given string. For example, if you take a binary string of length n, for example, if you take 1 0 0 1 1 1, then what we are saying is that you pick the first character, don't pick the second character, pick the third character, and so on. So given every binary string of length n, this uniquely maps to a subsequence of length n. So there is always a 1 1 and onto function between the binary strings of length n and the number of subsequences of the given string of length n. So the number of possible subsequences of the given string is exactly equal to 2 to the power n. So if I have to find the subsequences of both the strings, then find the one which is common to both of them and has the maximum length, then that will take omega of 2 to the power n time, right? So but whereas if you look at the substring problem, substring problem can I can start anywhere and j can start anytime to the j is greater than or equal to I. So you can see that the number of subsequences of a given substrings of a given string is only order n square, right? So given a string, there is only order n square number of substrings of the given string, right? So if I give you two strings, you can apply the brute force algorithm to compute all the substrings of the given string and then find the one which has the maximum length. So the number of substrings that each of them will have is order n square, and so once you have these order n square numbers, then if you want to find the one which is common to both of them and pick the one which is maximum of them, this will brute force way of doing this will be would take order n cube time. But there are fast algorithms. We have seen one such algorithm using hashing and the binary search technique, which can find the longest common substring problem in expected time, order n into log of n. And at this point of time, we would also like to mention that there is a data structure called suffix trees. If you use the suffix trees, the maximum substring problem can be solved in linear time, right? So linear in the length of the given strings. So coming back to the longest common subsequence problem, so our objective is to define an order n square algorithm which will solve this problem. So before I come to the state of the dynamic programming, I would like to define, make some observations about the longest common subsequence problem. So you are given two strings. The first string has length m, and the second string has length n. So we ask the question, if x of m is equal to x of n, that is the last characters of the two strings are same, then what we can do is that you can find the longest common subsequence excluding these two characters, right? So you can find the longest common subsequence of x1, x2, x of m minus 1 and y1, y2, y of n minus 1, and whatever answer that you get, you can concatenate with the last character and get a sequence of length 1 more than the longest common subsequence of the smallest strings that you considered. But if both the strings, if the last characters in these two strings are not same, then both of them cannot be included in the longest subsequence of the given two strings. Okay, so only one of them, either x of them can be there in the longest common subsequence, or y of n can be there. It may happen that neither of them are there, but what cannot happen is that both cannot be there because it's not the same. So the longest common subsequence in that case should be the longest common subsequence of either x1, x2, x of m and y1, y2, y of n. In this case, I am excluding x of m here, right? The character of the first string has been excluded in this case. In the second case, we will exclude y of n. So if you exclude y of n, then we recursively find the longest common subsequence of x1, x2, xm and y1, y2, yn minus 1. So with these observations, let's get back to the definition of so what is known as the state of the dynamic programming. So we build a two-dimensional array. So where our LF I comma j will be the length of the longest common subsequence of x1, x2, x of I and y1, y2, y of I. we want to find the longest subsequence of two strings. First string has length m and the second string has length n. The length of the first string is m and the second string has length n. Now we look at the substrings till I, the first I characters, and in the second string we will only consider the first j characters. And given these substrings, if we can compute L of I comma j, which is defined as the length of the longest common subsequence of the strings containing the first I characters in the first string and the first j characters in the second string.
So L of m comma n will be the LCS of the given two strings x and y. So from the discussions what we had so far, we can update L comma L of I comma j as, we first check whether x of I is equal to y of j. If x of I is equal to y of j, then we know that L of I comma j will be 1 plus L of I minus 1 comma j minus 1, right? See, if x of I is not equal to x of j, then L of I comma j will be set as the maximum of L of I minus 1 and j of j minus 1 and L of I minus 1 and j. So whichever is maximum, we will set that as L of I comma j. So let's look at this example. The first we initialize the first row and the second row. So the first character here is a. Till we see a first a in y, then this is set as 0. This is c, which is not equal to a. This is b, which is not equal to a. We set it as 0. So once we see a 1, then everything else remains as 1. Similarly, first character here is c. So if I see a it's going to be 0, and if I see a b, it's going to be 0. And the first time when I see a same character which is same as c, it becomes 1. After that it will remain as 1, right? So till I get the first a, it will be 0. After I get the first a, it will all remain as 1. Similarly, if I get the first c here, it will be 0. After that it will be 1. So now let's look at an arbitrary value here. Let's look at how did I get this one. First thing that I do is that compare a and c, which is not same. If it is not same, then you pick the max of the diagonally opposite entries. That is the max of 1 and 1, which is 1. So if you have to pick see how we can obtain this, here c is same as c here. If the c is same as c here, then we have to take diagonally above number, which is 2, which is the L of I minus 1 comma j minus 1, and add 1 to that and set this value as 1 plus the value of I minus 1 and comma j minus 1, which is the diagonally above number. So which is 1 plus 2, which is 3. So if you continue this way, so you will get this as the table. So let's look at how did I get this 4 here. This 4 is because of a and a here. So both are same. So this 4 is obtained by adding 1 to 3, right? Similarly, if I have to look at how did I get this 3, this 3 is a and b is not same. So this will be the maximum of 3 and 3. So the algorithm is simple. When I go to ijth entry, I look at whether x of I is equal to y of j. If it is the case, then you look at the diagonally above number and just add 1 to this and write the number, right? If they are not same, then you just look at the two other entries which are adjacent entries, which is diagonally opposite to each other, and pick the one which has the maximum of these two numbers. So finally, the L of m comma n will be the length of the longest subsequence of in this case this happens to be of length 4. Let's quickly look at the code for it. First we will try to initialize. See, as long as x of 0 is not equal to y of j, then t of 0 of j plus plus will be set as 0. The first time when you see is 0, this is equal to this, you will set it as 1, and afterwards it will remain as 1, right? So this is the way you fill the first row. If you have to fill the first column, you first check with the so the number that I have here is x and the number that I have here is y. This is of length n and this is of length m. So when I till I see the first y of 0, t of I plus plus comma 0 will be set as 0 till I see the first character which is same as the character that is written here. It's all 0. The moment I see the first y of 0 which is equal to x of I come out of this loop. After that everything else is set as 1. Right, so this is the way we set the first row and first column. After that, for I is equal to, in this case the indexing of the strings are going from 0 to n minus 1 and j is equal to 0 to n minus 1. So once we have set the first row and first column, I goes from 1 to m and j goes from 1 to n. The first thing that we check is that whether x of I is equal to y of j. If this condition is set, then what we set is that t of I comma j is equal to 1 plus t of I minus 1 comma j minus 1. So if this condition is not true, then we have to compare t of I minus 1 comma j and t of I comma j minus 1. If this is bigger, then t of I comma j is set as t of I comma I minus 1 comma j. So basically among these two values we want to set t of I comma j to be the bigger value. We will compare these two quantities. If the first quantity is greater than the second quantity, then the t of I comma j is set as the first quantity, or else the second one will be bigger. In that case t of I comma j will be set as I comma j minus 1. So the complexity of this algorithm is order n into m, and we also need a table of size order n into m. So this algorithm has a complexity of order n into m, which is both time and space. Now let's try to understand how to do the backtracking, and can we do the backtracking to figure out what is the sequence which has the longest common subsequence. So we know that the 4 here is the length of the longest common subsequence. So we want to figure out what is the sequence which is common to both of them, which is length is 4. So now we go here and ask the question, how did this 4 come from? There is a here and there is a here. This a has come from 1 plus the value of this. So if these two characters are same, we will remember. So in the end we write it as a. This is the character which is part of the LCS, and I move decrement our I pointer and j pointer by 1. Right, so we'll come here. So b is not same as a. So this 3 has come from the maximum of these through. So we since both of them have the same value, we can choose either of them. That means that the longest common subsequence need not be unique. So in this case, let's say that we decrement the value of I, we go up. Again we compare b and c, they are not same, so we again go up. A and c, again it's not same, so this 3 has come from this value. Now c and c is same, so this 3 has come from this 2. So we go here. Since c is the common thing, we'll remember that c is part of the longest common subsequence. Now there is a b and a here which is not same, so this 2 has come from the maximum of 1 and 2, but maximum 1 and 2 is 2, so it has come from 2, not from 1. So I come to the left hand side. So now b and b are same, so I record that b is part of the longest common subsequence and move up diagonally. Moving up diagonally essentially means that I am decrementing both I and j. If I had to go to the left, I had to just increment j. If I had to go up, I have to decrement the value of I. When I reach the first place, I check whether this is equal to 0. So depending on whether I have come to the first row, if I have come to the first row, if this is 1, then I just look at this character and report that it's a. If I had reached the first column, and if I had suppose that if I had reached here, then we have to report the character which is corresponding to this, which is c. So we will report c only if I reach at a place whose value is 1. If I reach at a place where whose value is 0, then we don't do anything. So from this backtracking, we figure out that ABCA is the LCS, the longest common subsequence of the given two strings. We can easily verify that ABCA is the subsequence of the both the strings. We have A here, we have B here, C here, and A here, and we have A here, B here, and C here, and A here. Right. So ABCA is the longest subsequence of the given strings, and we can verify that this is the subsequence of longest length. In other words, there is no other sequence which is common to both of them but has a length which is bigger than 4. Let's quickly look at the code for the backtracking. As mentioned earlier, the number of characters in the LCS is given by T of m-1 and n-1. Let's call it as C. So C will be the total number of characters in the longest common subsequence. We start with I is equal to m-1 and j is equal to n-1. As long as these two characters are greater than 0, we check whether T of I comma j is equal to 1 plus T of I minus 1 comma j minus 1. In this case, the x of I will be equal to y of j. So x of I will be part of the longest common subsequence. So we set s of minus minus c to be x of I, and in decrement both I and j counters. Otherwise, if this is not equal to this, then we check whether T of I comma j is greater than T of I minus 1 comma j is greater than T of I of I and j minus 1. If the T of I minus 1 comma j is greater, that means that the T of I comma j value has come from T of I minus 1 comma j. In that case, I increment the value of I. Otherwise, I'll increment the value of j. When so we will come out of this loop when one of them is 0. If j is not 0, then T of I comma j is greater than 0. Then we have to count x of 0 into the. We have to take x of 0 into the longest common sequence. Similarly, if I is greater than 0 and T of I comma j is also greater than 0. So if I is greater than 0, then j has to be 0. Right? If j has to be 0, that means that we are looking at y of 0. So this algorithm takes order n plus m time to do the backtracking, because every time when you go inside the while loop, either I decreases or j decreases or both can decrease. So as mentioned earlier, this requires order n into m space and time. So now we will ask the question, if we have to just find the longest common subsequence, just the number, but if you are not interested in figuring out what is the sequence, as done in the previous examples of coin exchange problem and the knapsack problem, we can save space. The idea here is that we first write down the first row, then we compute the second row, and when we compute the third row, so we know that the answer to this only will depend on the second row. The first row is not used at all. So we will go back and write the third row into the first row. Fourth row is written into second row. So at any point of time, we will only need 2 rows instead of m rows. So the algorithm after initializing will look like this. First, so v of so what we check is that whether so this is the initialization. First entry is checked by seeing whether x of I is equal to y of 0, the first character, whether it is same. If it is same, then the v of I percentile 2 is what I am trying to compute. The first entry will be 1. If this is not the case, then so whatever is the old value, so that is the above value. If above was 1, it will return as 1. Otherwise, if it is 0, it will return as 0. After we initialize the first entry, and the rest of the entries are initialized by j is equal to 1 to n, the first thing that we check is whether x of I is equal to y of j. If x of I is equal to y of j, then v of I comma j will be set as 1 plus v of I minus 1 comma j minus 1. Right? So I am doing here percentile, which essentially means that you look at the previous row, and if this is the entry that I am looking at, you look at the diagonally above entry, which is given by I minus 1 comma j minus 1, and update the value as this. If this is not true, if x of I is not equal to y of j, then as seen in the earlier case, we have to take the 2 entries, and whichever is the maximum, we have to pick that. So we look at these 2 entries, and whichever has the maximum value, if we have 5 percentile 2 j minus 1 is actually greater than, that is this particular entry, if it is greater than the above entry, then we will set v of 5 percentile 2 j is equal to whichever is the bigger entry. If this condition is not true, that means that this entry is greater than this, we set at this. So by using this technique we can get an order m space algorithm, but the time is still order n into m. If m happens to be greater than n, then we can exchange these two strings, and the space requirement will depend on the length of the smaller of these two strings. But if you are interested in finding out the string which gives the longest length, then we have to do the backtracking. If you need to do the backtracking, we need the entire table which requires order n into m space. The summary is that in this video we have seen an algorithm to solve the longest common subsequence problem in order n into m time and space. That's all in this video, so take a break and come back to the next problem.